Tanya and Terrell, you can actually still see some of the other damaged vehicles involved in this shooting and eventual crash, deadly crash that is. That tow truck driver was caught in the crossfire, police tell us. Now investigators trying to comb some surveillance video cameras that are around where we're standing to try and find video of the suspects involved in this deadly shooting.
So this tow truck driver was killed just doing his job. And while he was doing his job, two groups of Sunmen got into it with each other and just started having a shootout right there in broad daylight. And at some point, man, with all these broad daylight shootings going around in every city, every county, every suburb, at some point we got to stop this whole disenfranchised, oppressed. That's a very bold act. Okay? That's a comfortable act. You don't do that in a country where you gotta run around, yes, some boss, and keep your head down and try to duck and try to stay out of the limelight so they don't see you, and you try not to sneeze because if you don't want to make yourself known because everybody's out to get you because you know you're a Sun man. Broad daylight shootings everywhere. And unfortunately for this tow truck driver, he was the only person that was killed. And we see that so often here on the stories I do on this channel. I'm trying to bring out more news on this channel. But I do most of the stories on my other channel, Arc Nation TV, on the live streams. But I'm going to try to start bringing out more stories on this channel. Brother just doing his job. Picking up a car for tow. He didn't even get shot by one of a disgruntled person came out and said, hey, that's my car you're towing. Bam. Just some random groups of Sunmen got in a shootout. And that is brother's dead.
That is, that tow truck driver was caught in the crossfire, police tell us. Now investigators trying to comb some surveillance video cameras that are around where we're standing to try and find video of the suspects involved in this deadly shooting. It happened here in the 1900 block of West Fulton at around 10:45 last night. A 49-year-old man was driving a tow truck driver heading westbound when two vehicles began shooting at each other. Caught in between them, the victim was hit in the left armpit and crashed into a bus stop pole. He was taken to Stroger Hospital in critical condition, where he was pronounced dead. Police tell us this morning, while they are still looking at that video, no one is in custody as they continue their investigation.
That brings me to this. Now, I've already, months ago, I think maybe a year ago, I directed my moderators to block anyone who posted 1350 because that's a common meme or common slogan used by people to speak disparagingly of Sun people by saying that 13%, which we are, of the population commits 50% of the murders, of the homicides. And that's something that's been bandied about for a while. I don't know if it was true maybe 30, 40 years ago, but it's definitely not true now. The new numbers are in from 2021. The last year we have numbers for. And it's actually 60%. It's not 50% anymore. So it's 1360. And as you guys know, here at this channel, we know it's worse than that, man. 1360 would be a dream. Another crime bill would get us to 1360 because of so many unsolved murders in a certain particular neighborhood. It's more like 1380, 1385. And you know that. Even if you're a pro-WAC or a HOTEP, You know that. You know what the conversations are like in your circle. You know what the guys brag about. You know that we're the only group that brags about that stuff. We're the only group that, it's a form of a currency, these types of violent areas that we live in. We know that when we hear there's a shooting in our city, we never think that it's anybody but one of us. We know that. You know that. Everyone knows that. We all know that it's probably 1385. We all know that we want to live in areas where it's less of us. When we find an area, when a sun man find an area where there ain't a lot of sun people, and he move in with his family and whatnot, and then he starts seeing other sun people move in, he resents those sun people. How did you find me? How'd y'all find out about this? You look around, you say, oh man, what the hell? No one likes living around us because of this. Because of murder, drive-bys, carjackings, things like that lead to murder. Rival gangs, gang violence, all these things that lead to murder. No one likes living around us because of those things. But the new numbers, 1360. So moderators, anybody put 1350 in the chat or in the comment section, please block them for spreading misinformation. Yeah, man, we the misinformation police over here now, man.
Also new tonight, a terrible, sad update to pass along from Prince George's state attorney, Aisha Braveboy. She has confirmed the death of 13-year-old Jays Agnew. That's the boy who was shot Tuesday while raking leaves in front of his own home, the 2100 block of Jameson Street in Hillcrest Heights. Now, the boy had been fighting for his life in an area hospital since Tuesday. In a statement tonight, Braveboy said the violence must stop. Police have not identified any suspects, and no arrests have been made in this case. And certainly, they are looking for anyone who has information.
13-year-old boy can't even go outside and rake leaves without the ops pulling up. Probably roll through the block. Man, ain't nobody out here. Ain't nobody out here. Them fools hide, man. They hide. Oh, there goes somebody. Little boy outside raking leaves probably ain't had nothing to do with the neighborhood beef. But they riding through. And ain't nobody outside. They hiding. So they shot the only person they seen that was outside. And he 13, so he in the game. If you 13, they was probably 13. The shooters was probably 14, maybe 15. This is why everyone knows. Because all you have to do is watch the news. Everyone knows that it's you. You're doing all the murder in the country. It's you. It's your group. Everyone knows. And everyone's trying to find ways to get away from you. Wherever they go, you hear you come following them. Everyone's trying to get away from you. Son man, son woman. There's no respite. There's no refuge away from you. You're everywhere. And this is what you bring with you. Even if you're not doing it. Even if you're not doing it, your community, you vote for policies, pro-criminal policies. You protest on behalf of criminals. You're anti-police in the sense that you don't work with police to help to solve investigations, to help solve cases. You don't work with police just on simple things. Like you're just anti-police across the board. Every criminal, you take the criminal side. If there's any interaction between a police or a criminal that goes wrong, you always 1000% take the criminal side. You never cooperate with investigations. You're belligerent and rude when the police come to the neighborhoods. You vote for policies that are detrimental. You vote for candidates that are detrimental to your safety. So even if you're not a criminal, when you come to a place, you're voting Democrat, you're voting anti-police, you're voting pro-criminal. Your teenagers are raised feral and wayward. The culture which you guys create, the culture did not create some people. We created the culture. The culture is a reflection and an embodiment. It's a spawn of us. We spawned the culture. The culture did not spawn us. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. 13-year-olds can't rake the leaves. This family, God, what are they going through right now? What is this family going through right now? No one in custody. More than half of the time, there's no one ever in custody. No one ever is brought to justice for these murders. $13.60. Or you blocked.